Greetings, everyone. Much divine love and light to all of you. So, by our practices and by the wisdom that we have gained all these years, we understand how we are just the pure presence. When our awareness falls on any objects, that awareness becomes consciousness. Those are very deep tattvas which we are anyhow contemplating on. But at the same time, on the other part, we are also the mind and body, and that's what we call as the ego. You cannot say, even if you know that I am not the body and I am the soul, you cannot say for sure that the mind and body does not affect you. It is going to affect you. But to what extent is completely depending on how aware you are and what your level of consciousness is. Most of us are privileged to understand this, to practice this, and to stay away from the sufferings of the mind body to a large extent, which I believe we're able to, by the power of which we understand how we are just navigating this planet in this instrument called the body. I'm sure we are becoming more and more aware that we are these beings, these astral divine beings. We are pure presence, just using this body and mind as a vehicle to have an experience here. We are come here to experience so many things using the mind body, and that is what we must stay aware on. Intellectually, it's not enough, but by deepening the practices which we are doing in so many webinars and so many sessions and retreats, which is our main objective, because only by that practice can you stabilize it. We have succeeded to a large extent, and I'm so glad looking at the states of people and the way they have transformed beautifully, the way they have transcended the normal, the pains of life, the normal sufferings that they get from life, the ignorances, the obstacles, so-called obstacles, how they have transcended it. And they are able to live a anxious-free life. They're able to get clarity on the path and understand where they're going. Most of all, very importantly, we have understood to a very large extent that we are pure awareness, and we are not the body nor the associations with the body like a religion, caste, community, creed, path, lineages, identities. We are not the identities, and I'm so glad many of us have got that. Now it has to be very much deeply stabilized. So we welcome everybody on this path, because this path is not belonging to a certain religion or a caste or community or any creed. It's simply abstract as your soul, Atman, is. Presence has nothing to do with these associations. It's the ego that associates with all these. So, as far as possible, I've tried to keep it clutter free, concept free, belief free, condition free, programmed free. And we have tried to just maintain this understanding that just we are pure presence and nothing beyond it. So, those who would like to learn this, staying in deep presence, in awareness, without having to get entangled with the problems of the mind or the entanglements of the body, the memories, the conditionings, the vasanas, the identities. And if that sounds interesting, most welcome. Because we can live a carefree life, a life free from all prejudices, all anxieties. We can live free from the past and the future, importantly. In the now, in the moment, as pure presence, experiencing life without any prejudices, without any opinions, judgments, conclusions about people, places, things. You don't conclude on anything. You're just pure presence. And that's where freedom comes. So we practice on moving towards the state of Jivana Mukta while being in the body, being free, still continuing to do your karmas, whatever the calls come, your prarabdha, whatever unfolds, but very well knowing that you are not that. So that gives us a sense of freedom. Now, this video I'm making actually for the sufferings going on right now. Venezuela is one place where the twin earthquakes happened, It's very devastating. I'm sure they have not revealed the exact number of casualties. They talk in hundreds and thousands, but I'm sure it's in lakhs, running in lakhs. So when you look at the videos, when you look at these images or the news that's coming in, you can see the immense suffering in people, the scare, the anxiety, the panic, the insecurity, living day and night with insecurity, at the same time battling with the losses that they've undergone, the lives lost, the crippled, bodies getting crippled in so many different ways. It's so painful when one is totally in the mind body. So what I feel is, when we are able to enjoy the gifts of life or the grace of God, we might be sitting in a corner or in a place where everything is moving simply fantastic, but in some other corners of the world, of the collective consciousness, there is suffering. And as I keep telling all the members again and again, we are not spared from it. Even if you turn a blind eye towards it, somewhere it will affect you. Those shrieks, that pain, the trauma, that vibrations of sadness, grief, it's in the air, it's in the consciousness, and we are collectively part of that consciousness. We may neglect to see that, but somewhere we are affected. Most of the times when we are sitting simply without doing anything, and suddenly you feel panic, suddenly you feel fear, suddenly you feel gloom, and you don't know the reasons. You can't think of a reason. No memory came to you, no thought came to you, but still you feel it. Has this happened to you? That's the part of the collective that we are taking, because we are all that supreme one consciousness. Somewhere or the other we are connected. So what I strongly feel is, when we are strongly connected as a presence, one Atman, Vishalman means one mind, the whole collective consciousness, one mind, one soul, one presence, one aura, whatever you call it. So when uh, we are just this one presence, when we know that, and we are doing so much of self healing, isn't it? All these years, being able to transform, heal, self heal on the physical level, mental level, emotional level, soulfully we are able to heal. We are able to very spontaneously move into that well-being space. We are able to move in a space of peace, contentment, happiness. That's our localized presence. Now, localized presence is also connected to the outer. The microcosm is connected to the macrocosm. These both are connected, interconnected. So whatever happens here happens there. Like I told you, anything happening in the collective affects us in some way. At the same time, whatever happens here, we are affecting the collective. So what I strongly feel, and I have experienced from my personal experiences, is that when you hold the presence of this light, divine love and light, into your life, that's fine. But if your presence is held with a certain awareness in depth that this is moving out into this world, and how you are part of this presence, and then you vibrate, like we have learned about manifestations into our life, and you can see how brilliantly it works. Those same methods, it's a collective manifestation, because what we manifest for us, our families, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, we are manifesting for the larger family, the cosmos. So without the sense of doership, because doership, we are not, I'm not telling go heal or change the world, transform the world, uplift the world, and then with the feeling that, oh, we are doing this for the humanity, we are uplifting humanity, we are saving humanity. We cannot save humanity. We can only be the instruments, mediums. That one in the collective, the Mahat, the Ishwar Tattva, depending on the collective group karma, it impacts. It is not because of you and me thinking that we have got to change the world is changing. It is in the collective blueprint. It's supposed to happen. So it uses us to channel. Like I said, the astral worlds, there is an astral world. If you want to go in depth into this, look into the YouTube channel Shifting into Awareness, and the latest video that I posted there from yesterday's session. I've explained this, of our koshas, our Sukshma Sharira, and the collective Sukshma Sharira. That collective Sukshma or subtle body is known as the astral world. So, in our mind, there are positive and negative things influencing us all the time. Sometimes we get negative, sometimes positive. Depending on what you are aligned to, your life becomes like that. Exactly in the same manner, the collective also has the astral or a large mind, Vishalman. In that astral, there are positive and negative forces also. So those who are aligned to a certain negativity, they manifest that and they behave what you can see today: wars and crimes and hatred and divisions in the name of religion, in the name of paths. You can see all these things: the hatred and division, the manipulation, the control, the power, the superiority, inferiority, some trying to dominate others, some trying to put down somebody else, some trying to rule and take the whole, capture the whole stuff, the dominance. This all is because of the alignment to the Asuric astral worlds, because from there it manifests. At the same time, on the other side, you can choose love, peace, happiness, oneness. No hatred, no divisions, no diversity, no concluding that somebody is different, no superiority, inferiority. It is just the one presence. Like if you have understood what I'm saying and you have experienced your presence, that is how everybody feels. Come on. Everybody feels a pain. What a Hindu feels, a Muslim feels, a Sikh, Parsi, Jain, Buddha, whoever it is, or a cat, dog, they all feel the same kind of pain. So, whatever is your personal experience is the same experience that is happening to somebody in the brotherhood. If you become fully aware of this, that is called karuna and compassion. Brotherhood comes from there. You feel for others, you sympathize, there is empathy in you, kindness in you. So, that is the God Tattva. And that is what I'm emphasizing again and again. You must not leave this alignment. When you live in this, when you feel, when you strongly live in this kind of mindset, you are surely going to be connected to the ascended masters, the higher positive or godly beings, and they then use you as a medium. Please understand, we all carcasses, जो डिब्बे हैं हम, we are all these carcasses through which the whole cosmos works. So, what kind of a pravritti are you? What kind of a nature are you? Depending on that, the contents come into you. So, why can't we become instruments of peace, love, and divine love and light? Why can't we be that kind of an instrument? For that, this mindset has to be there, where there is oneness, no absolute thing, any kind of diversity, irrespective of what the mind is justifying, mind ego is justifying. Our own minds or our previous generations or our any in the whole generational lineages, what they are experiencing, it's come on, it's all purely karmic. We understand that it's simply a give and take, cause and effect. Nobody is a victim and nobody is what you call the cause of the problem. All have a cause and effect. There is a reason to it, and it's all purely karmic. Nobody is innocent and nobody is criminal, if you see in one way. Now, on the mind ego level, yes, what has to be done will be done by the word, the governance, and all that. But as spiritual beings, one end, you must be in the basic understanding of this. Do what needs to be done in the mind, ego, body, when you're dealing with this world. But at the deeper level, understand it's still one and it's still in the game only. When you understand that, you become a very powerful instrument for God and godly beings. That's what I'm saying. Whatever you have practiced now, the presence which transformed yourself, the presence which transformed your families, your friends, and people around. So many messages all these years, being close to 5 years now, I've got where you have written, I have not spoken, I have not done anything, I have not changed the world anything, but people around me have simply changed. That's the power of your presence. Without a single talk, it can change the influence. That's the Buddhahood. So that presence is what we have to master, and we should not leave that path. Come what may. Outside, whatever your mind might be polluted with whatever vested interests are going in other polluted minds, you need not take garbage from here and there. You strongly come back to your presence and look at everybody else's ignorances also, where their presence is not aware of their own presence. Their awareness is busy in their own mind egos, and because of that avidya, ignorance, even if they are spiritual or non-spiritual, whatever, there is ignorance there. That is why they are behaving that way. So that we cannot stop. How the world functions, what they do, we cannot stop. But you can definitely learn and know how to react and how to respond and how to look at these things. You don't leave your stand. So I would urge all the members and all the people connected through YouTube or Instagram, whether you're not even members but still following all these posts and the videos very, very committedly, very dedicatedly. I know many are following that way. That practice, you make it a point, and you will see slowly how you become the channel of light. We are all beings of light. That's why I associate my name with light only, Jake Light. We are nothing less than light. Shiva is pure light. God is light. Islam, Bible, Vedas, they all talk about how light is the first and light is God. So we are that light. Light is that presence, what I'm telling. So our illumination, when we sit and we illuminate, now you have experienced your own transformation of people around you, in and around you. Now, if you hold that light, holding that light, because we are all becoming crystalline bodies, please remember this. From carbon body, we are moving into crystalline bodies. This is all crystalline, and crystalline, the more it becomes, the more the capacity to hold light. The more it can hold light, the more sharper and powerful your presence. The more powerful your presence, the more transformations takes within and outside. The microcosm and the macrocosm. That is what I mean by seva. We are not going out with the mind ego to help others, serve others, uplift others, save humanity. We cannot save humanity. We can be good instruments. So whenever your light is increasing and shining around, illuminating, you consciously hold it with your awareness. You're conscious of what's happening there in the process and how you are being utilized as that instrument. There is where humility comes. So you just allow that light which is spreading through you, which is God's will, to keep on increasing. And hold sankalpas, just like you hold for your manifestation, now hold it for the collective manifestations. And believe it or not, there are powerful changes. So at this time, when the world is going through a lot, on top of that, natural calamities and all these things happening, there is immense suffering in the minds of the people, because the minds are not yet uplifted from what's happening. It is very deep rooted into samsara. So the suffering also is very, very immense. So at that time, the only thing that we can do is increase the light in your body, around you, and into the world. Keep shining that light again and again. So yesterday, what we were supposed to do, today we are going to do that. Spreading the divine love and light to the whole creation. So tonight at 8:50 you can join. Of course, this is for members, but anybody new who want to join, just look into this link, shiftingintoawareness.com/join, and you can join these sessions. So members, what we mean is the people who are practicing, who are very serious, who have done webinars, retreats, or courses. We have kept only sessions and follow-up sessions for them, because when you know the practice, and then we sit and help you go deeper. But if you do not know the practice, what the basic thing is, simply listening is not going to help. So we have stopped the session for just public. It is strictly for members. If you like, you can join, you can participate, you can take the course, the basic, and no course and no webinars, retreats, talk about any religion, any fanatism, any path, nothing. It's simply about you as pure presence, which has got nothing to do with the nama rupa, name and form. You are identifying yourself with the truth. So it's all based on the Upanishad teachings. Shifting into awareness is completely on the Upanishad point of view, perception, where there is even no gods and concepts there. So it's a conceptless. We follow thoroughly Yoga Vashishta, what Vashishta Mahamuni taught Bhagavan Ram, which is finally the practice of who am I. So when you come to know who am I, why should we be bothered by who am I not? Why get caught in that? The world is still caught up in who am I not. That is why there is this immense suffering. So our intention to sit and spread this awareness through our intent, deep intent, our manifestations, our sankalpas, that is only to illuminate the collective consciousness, so that it can help understand the ignorance of life, by which we are simply attracting wrong karmas into our life. All this is collective karma, what you see. Nothing is injustice. It's all justified in some way. The suffering that's coming, it comes back to us, even collectively, because we have created something. And that creation comes out of ignorance. So our illumination is to only remove ignorance. Asatoma Sadgamaya. From Asat we are moving, from Antrut we are moving to Trut. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. From darkness we are moving to light. That's what we are talking about. This darkness, the Timir, the Andhakar, the darkness can be shut out by the presence of light. So Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityurma Mritam Gamaya. Where you understand, I am not the body, I don't die, and I am not mortal, but I am immortal. I, the presence, can never die. But today that death seems so horrible. So horrible. And that's where the pain comes. The more the ignorance, the more the pain. So we are not knowing that Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. We are Amritam. We are the immortal beings. Presence. These practices will let you know. Nisargadatta Maharaj. I was just listening once and it coincided with what's happening now. He said if a building collapses and all the people and whatever things collapse with it, what has collapsed is the structural stuff, the people or the objects or the things, but has the space in it collapsed? No. That space is the presence. So in the presence everything is happening. In the presence everything is standing up. In the presence everything is collapsing. So those collapses can be very devastating when we are identified with the objects. It's very, very difficult for the world to understand that. That's okay, but we are still understanding and we are talking about this space where we are illuminating. When you illuminate that space, the objects in that are influenced by that space. That is how you influence your life. In your presence is floating all your bodies, all your panchakoshas are floating in you. You are not in the panchakoshas. You are the presence. In you is the body's form. So when your presence is illuminating with light, all the contents in it also is going to purify. Similarly, in the collective, if the tattva of space is held on to and illuminated, every objects in it also is purified in whichever way it is. We don't command, we don't demand, there is no expectation, oh we are doing this, where is the result? Never do that. The results don't come like this instantaneous, but it's a massive effect that's changing collectively, for which you also get the benefit of it in whatever way, because you are contributing to that law of karma, cause and effect. It comes to us. So that is how what we are talking about seva very silently, not to be done with the mind, body, ego, but by pure presence. So you can join today, which is free, and we are simply sitting collectively. It is very powerful when we do it. It becomes our kind of responsibility collectively. What God has given us, we try to expand it into God's creation. And for those who want to understand the concepts of shifting into awareness, want to practice these things so that you can live more and more in presence and not in the mind, ego, and not be affected by it. Whether you're a professional, whether you're a housewife, whether you're a caretaker, whether you're a student, or just an ordinary person, or a businessman, or whatever kind of profession you are in. It doesn't matter. It helps because the presence is there everywhere. Only the identities keep changing. Father, mother, husband, wife, brother, sister, son, daughter. These are identities. But who runs it? The presence. So this presence can help very, very powerfully. I wouldn't even call God's presence. We are not talking about taking the presence of Shiva in you. That's actually ignorance, because you can't take the presence from you. The presence itself is Shiva. The light of Shiva only blossoms through you. So the initiator is there. So if the light, by the light you see something, you understand something, that light itself is Shiva. So it's like the light gets into the head and the head cooks up concepts, and then it's holding on to some external thing and then connecting a light and borrowing light. You are borrowing an artificial light then, because you are the real light. From you, that light only, everything is born when you open your eyes. When you close your eyes in sleep, there is nothing. So you are the light that opens, by which you see, by which you perform, by which you act in it, by which you participate in it. You are the light, Onishi. So we are not talking about borrowing any godly light. You are the divine light. And to master that and to experience it, You can learn, you can participate in this webinars what we are doing, and then you'll get a good idea of how this can be done. So that's on Sunday what we are talking about. This, that's tomorrow. You can join tomorrow. It's from 10 to 2. Yes, another important thing is the power of prayers, which we'll be learning again in the Sunday webinar that is tomorrow. The power of prayers. Prayers are very, very important in life, in the spiritual journey. I have seen this as my personal experience, and that is why I'm teaching this, the power of prayer and the way to prayer. Like I've often told about the 4 levels of this prayer, the communication that you have: Vaikhari, Madhyama, Pashyanti, Paravani. What we normally use is the Vaikhari and Madhyama. So these powers can become very, very powerful because when your consciousness is raised and the communication is more inward than the outward. So Vaikhari is physical, what you're talking. Madhyama is at the thought level. Most of us think the prayers, most of us transmit the prayers through our thoughts, isn't it? But there is a more powerful way to communicate that is beyond the thought, through the vibration of feelings, that is bhava. And the highest level of communication is paravani, pure silence, where what whom you are seeking and the seeker and that which is sought is one. In that state the transfer happens. It's very mysterious how the bhava is communicated and the answer is received, and it's very, very spontaneous. Those prayers are very, very spontaneous. See, Paravani is the language of Lord Dakshinamurti, who is the guru who teaches through silence. So for that one has to become silence. So that's another. We are not talking about those, we do that in the webinars, those kind of deep tattvas of Paravani. We have done in the Tattva Bodha, we have done all these things. But in the Sunday webinar, basically we will understand the first 3 levels, Vaikhari, Madhyam, and Pashyanti. Pashyanti is the level of prayers that you keep transmitting. You are a transmitter of that prayer, what you hold in your Sukshma Sharira, what you hold in your astral body, in your state of awareness. That is a constant communication with the divine. So it's very important that that kosha, that aspect is kept very clean, and you perfectly know what you want, because that bhava is what emanates and what attracts. What I always say, you do not attract by what you think, you do not attract by what you visualize, you actually attract by what you are, and what you are is what you are vibrating from within, which is so subtle that even the conscious mind might not know. So prayers, if is used from that zone, prayers, every thought is our prayer, but this is an intentional prayer, the prayer for our peace in our life, or peace in the world, or any kind of healing, any kind of prayers that you have for yourself, your families, or the extended families, that is the world. It can be done through this. And I feel prayers are very, very powerful when the mind ego takes over. There are times when our connection drops, and many things might simply not work though you want to. Sometimes your sadhana stops, something your connection just drops, and then things are not happening, and then you don't know what to do. At that time is the best time to pray. But there's a way to pray. One is a despondent prayer, a very desperate kind of a prayer. It's a very negative kind of a communication, which is from the victim zone. I say avoid that. So we'll learn in depth in this Sunday webinar about how to pray, because this is going to be really important in your life, so that you can manifest that which your mind body cannot do. So you can get rid of obstacles, or you can attract what you really want, or what you call as the communication with your higher beings, the ascended masters, through this art of this prayer. So that also will help us. We are learning this for the collective anyways, but you can make use of it in your life also. So that's on Sunday what we are talking about. That's tomorrow. You can join tomorrow. It's from 10 to 2. Very nominal price we have kept. It's just like a commitment fees, so that we don't want not serious people or curious people just wanting to see what's happening. Those who are understanding what I'm talking, those who have seen the videos on the YouTube, those who are interested in it and want to learn more, experience it. I would say more than learning intellectually, experience it. Experience will come. So that experience is your conviction. Through that, you can learn to be anxiety free, have deep, peaceful sleeps, and live in the moment, moment to moment, not intellectually, not by philosophy, but by experience. So many practices are there. If you get that properly done, then your whole life turns into the present moment. Presence and present. What is present here is your presence. So you learn to live in the now. And the moment you live in the now, all your 80% of your problems just are gone off. Most comes from living in the past and future. Anxiety, fear, grief, all these things that is coming, anger, expectations, the desires, all this is past and future. So in the present, moment to moment, if you learn how to live life, whatever is unfolding, life becomes very simple, very, very simple, very peaceful, very cheerful. You are able to relish life, every moment to moment, and that is where life is. Then from there comes contentment, because if you are in the now and you're so blissfully available to what's happening, you are finishing your experience of human experience, all the experiences, because you're thoroughly living it. So when that gets fulfilled, slowly, the contentment starts coming in. So you're peaceful wherever. Then no need to run behind this and that, and to places, and to study things, to learn things and techniques and methods and this and that. You don't need. You are just what you are. So that state of freedom takes you towards Jivan Mukta. If this makes sense to you, then you can definitely join us tomorrow. You can even call anybody else that you wish to, because we, in our shifting into awareness platform, we have entire families. We have three generations. Some families run three generations are all doing these practices because they have seen how it has influenced it. And there are so many people, like three, sometimes five people in a family doing it, even if they are in different locations, because that's helping them at all end, not just the physical, even not just the worldly, but also their spirituality is getting unraveled without having to chase anything. Everything is effortlessly happening. Grace is flowing into your life. That one thing you'll surely see: grace. How grace works when you align with the truth, with pure intention. Purity is everything. Purity and truth is everything. You have these two tattvas in your life, you see how grace comes to you. And then you will see grace doing it for you. You just have to sit, relax, and relish life and allow the presence to work for you. If this makes much sense, you can join us tomorrow. If you want to go deeper, there are courses, there are webinars, and those who are new, you need to be consistent. If you are consistent, then you are also eligible for retreats. We have two powerful retreats again coming up, one in Uttarkashi and one in Gorakhpur. All the details are shared only with the members, and retreats are strictly for members. It's not open to the public. So somebody has to get familiar, and we need to gain the trust and confidence in each other. That's very, very important. We must know each other. We must know our intentions, and we must all have that pure vibration. So when we are in the same frequency and vibration, then you are invited. You can join the retreats also. You can see how blissfully peaceful and deep these retreats are, because all are on the same level of understanding. So if this makes sense to you, most welcome. See you tomorrow in the webinar at 10 a.m. Much divine love and light to you. Stay blessed.